welcome to Retail Focus. I'm John Suder, and I'm here with my co-host, Bart Mroz.
Hello.
Hello, Bart. Before we get started today, why don't you tell me what your awesome thing is this week?
I got to go to the Phillies Mets game.
Very nice. It
Unfortunately,
was at Citi Field. The Phillies got swept by the Mets. Yes,
yes, they
it was
did.
absolutely horrible. I don't really want to talk about it, but I just did. Yeah, Citi Field's supposedly a very beautiful place. So I'm
It
glad
is.
you
It's
got to go.
gorgeous. Yeah. So that was my good thing. What was yours?
Mine would be, I was trying to think. I'm going to say TV, even though the weather's getting nice. TV is really good lately. I got a deal on Paramount Plus, 99 cents a month for 3 months. So I've been like kind of gorging myself on Paramount Plus because I wanted to watch Mabland. See, and this is how they tricked me into it. I have a Roku TV and it kept showing me a thing for Mobland. I'm like, all right, it let me watch the first episode. So I'm like, maybe I accidentally got for free. Well, I did get it for free, the first episode. So I wanted to watch the second episode. Sign up for Paramount Plus. They gave me a deal, 2 months for 99 cents.
Nice.
99
Nice.
cents a month. I'm like, perfect, great.
It's a good show, man.
Great show, fantastic show. I always love Pierce Brosnan. The Scottish accent's kind of throwing me off a little bit, but anything with Tom Hardy, I'll fucking watch it.
And it's a Guy Ritchie thing. So
And it's a Guy Ritchie thing. Yeah, it's just perfect. It's my kind of TV. I've also since I got Paramount Plus, I never caught the last season of Billions, so I figured I watched season 6 to get through it. I forgot how corny that show is.
last season gets better.
I hope so, because this season I'm barely making it through. I kind of remember. I didn't remember everything, but it was the theme of the Olympics and Chuck Berry.
Yeah. It got weird in that season. I don't understand. Like it was fine for the first two, and then as soon as Bobby left, that was it.
Yeah, and all the characters are now cartoon characters.
Yeah, pretty much.
Everyone's like a stereotype. It's silly. It's just silly.
Yeah, the last season, the wrap up was pretty good.
All right, I'm going to stick with it because I got the Paramount Plus. So
yeah,
that's
cool.
My awesome things for this week. So let's begin. Temu Shein ad crash. So Temu and Shein, those Chinese e-commerce giants who basically carpet bombed your social feeds with bargain bin fashion and gadgets, are suddenly ghosting Google Shopping and slashing their ad budget like they just got a nasty surprise bill. Why? Because the U.S. just pulled the rug out from under their ultra-cheap shipping model by ending the de minimis tariff loophole on May 2nd. Translation, no more sneaky duty-free imports under $800, meaning their dirt cheap prices are about to get a lot less dirt cheap. Temu abruptly stopped all Google Shopping ads in the U.S., causing its app ranking to nosedive from the top 5 to 58. The platform's heavy reliance on Google ads for user acquisition is now painfully clear. They went full Houdini on Google Shopping ads, dropping from a whopping 19% share of ad impressions to 0 in less than 2 weeks. Shein followed suit, having its ad presence across Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. The ad pullback is a double whammy. It's a gut punch to Meta, Google, and other ad platforms that feasted on their billions in ad dollars, and a big hello to U.S. retailers who might actually get a shot at competing without these discount dynamos flooding the market. For consumers, brace for sticker shock on those too good to be true deals you love to hate. In short, Temu and Shein's ad party in the U.S. is over for now. They're slashing ads, hiking prices, and quietly hoping the tariff storm blows over before the customers vanish faster than their Google Shopping ads did. How about that?
How about them apples?
Let's pour one out. I won't miss them, but I never bought anything on Shein, and I said in a previous episode I got caught in the Temu free stuff, snafu, or whatever you want to call it.
I know. It's always like
spend $2 more and get a free, and
then you get a bed. It's like, what is this?
Yeah, what is this? Actually, I got some cheap lights for my garden and some other stuff, but
there used to be some good one stuff out there.
Yeah.
Like, I think that I wonder if like this whole thing is just gonna change consumerism in a different way.
I would love to see that.
Like, it was funny. I was watching something today, and the guy was like, when we were little, when you lost the ball, you lost the ball.
You lost the ball.
Like,
You didn't go buy 5 more.
You spent a whole day trying to find the ball, and then like last minute, call up Amazon so it gets delivered before I get home.
You know what?
That was my words of my kiddo today.
That's a great analogy. That really is. I'm gonna have to remember that one. It's really true. It's like I lost the ball. Quick, call Amazon, get me a ball, but also get me 4 others in different colors.
Yeah.
I'm guilty of that. I've done it.
I've done it too.
I'm doing it a lot less now, though. I'll be honest. I'm trying to dial down my
Um,
consumerism and trying to embrace the minimalist Buddhist lifestyle
some kind, whatever that
of
is.
some kind of enlightenment. I don't know. I'll find it someday. So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
this isn't good for the ad platforms. Obviously, I'm just wondering the business model of Temu and Shine. I didn't really look into this, but do they is the majority of their profits from US or are they popular in other parts of the world or is this just
Boy, definitely might be. I mean, I think consumerism is less in other parts of the world, but it's coming up. I guess Europe would be one of them too, you know?
yeah, you would think. But it's really wild because consumer confidence has been down for a while, but now it seems like it's kind of because the numbers like you see in sentiment, oh, I'm not buying anything. I'm too scared. You see it in sentiment, but the numbers coming out show that people are still buying stuff. People are always going
Yeah,
to buy stuff. So I guess there's a light at the end of the tunnel, and I hope it's not a train coming at us.
yeah, yeah. We shall see. We shall see.
All right. Speaking of ad platforms, Google's legal woes. Google's having a banner year. If by banner you mean giant flashing warning sign. In the latest episode of Big Tech, Big Trouble, a federal judge just ruled that Google is running an illegal monopoly in online advertising tech. Who didn't see this coming? Just everybody. Yes, the company that basically decides which ads you see, when you see them, and how much everyone pays for the privilege has been found guilty of willfully acquiring and maintaining monopoly power in the ad tech market. Turns out stacking the deck in your own ad auctions and squeezing both publishers and advertising isn't just good business, it's also illegal. The Justice Department, along with 17 states, brought the hammer down, arguing that Google's dominance stifled competition, jacked up prices, and left publishers and advertisers with fewer choices and less cash. The judge agreed. Google deliberately participated in a range of anti-competitive actions to maintain its stranglehold on digital ads, harming everyone from website owners to regular web surfers. The decision may pave the way for further antitrust actions that could include divestitures to restore market fairness. The ruling marks Google's second major antitrust loss, following a previous case concerning its dominance in search and search advertising. These decisions signal a crucial turning point in the U.S. government's ongoing bipartisan crackdown on big tech monopolies. So what's next? The government wants some real changes. Think Google being forced to sell parts of its ad business, maybe even Chrome or Android, and being banned from making those sweet default search deals with phone makers like Apple. Google naturally plans to appeal, insisting people just love their products and that breaking up the ad empire would somehow make the internet worse. Well, at least for Google shareholders. Not all gloom and doom for the search behemoths. The court dismissed claims regarding Google's advertiser tools and past acquisitions like DoubleClick and AdMeld, stating they didn't harm competition. So to sum it up, Google's ad monopoly is officially illegal. The DOJ is sharpening its scissors for a possible breakup, and the rest of big tech is nervously watching from the sidelines, wondering if they're next. Stay tuned. This legal drama is just getting started, and the only thing more inflated than Google ad prices right now might be their legal bills.
That's going to be an edit. Big tech.
Big tech. Heck, we're going to crack down on those pens. We don't want any more of your pesky pens.
Oh, man. I don't.
I'm sorry that's coming. I mean, this is kind of Captain Obvious news. It's about time something was done.
Sure. I think tech is going to be interesting all over the place. You know, I think Meta is under in legal battles at the moment, I think.
And Apple, I just saw this morning, Apple has to pay a fine to the EU, $300 million for some sort of privacy, whatever, because they're really.
Yeah, I think a lot of the tech stuff is going to get hit in Europe because their privacy laws are different. Here it's a little more relaxed.
It's a little more shucking and jiving. Where Europe, it's like, if you don't have that little button on your website, they're going to come after you and shut you down.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's also political, right? Like it's lobbyists and stuff like that. So you're playing that game a lot of times, and that's what you do. I mean, that's the game. It's people hate on tech companies or lobbyists and stuff like that. Change the laws.
Yeah.
Like I don't agree with a lot of the stuff, obviously, but change the laws. Like that's the play, right? And one of the craziest political, like I think Citizens United was the worst thing you could do because you're letting corporation be a person, so they can give lobbyists and it's a whole niche market completely.
Yeah, I should have been a lobbyist. Would have made a lot more money.
Yeah, I mean, it's a whole niche market to do it, right? You lobby for what you need, and it's just the wrong way of doing it. It's being a person. You're doing it with money. But all these tech companies are gonna do this. Like I said, it's the hate the game, not the player thing.
Right. Exactly.
As much as we can poo-poo it and say, hey, this is really bad.
Who's
It's the
changing?
game.
No,
It's the game.
Right. Not changing. I don't think it's going to change for a while. And they did pass a lot of laws, anti-lobbying laws of certain things that they can and cannot do.
Yeah.
But still, that's the name of the game. You got money in your pocket. You got a senator or a congressman or a representative that hey, you take them to dinner, take them to golf.
Yeah, and also you got to remember, like, these companies are huge and they have all the money in the world, so they have the best lawyers.
Yeah.
Like, some of the best lawyers work for these companies. Like, that's their job.
So if the lobbying doesn't work, then they'll just wear you down in the courts and spend.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, some of these lawyers make ridiculous amount of money to do what they do.
Yeah. Damn if you do, damn if you don't.
Yeah, well, thus the game, my friend.
Thusly. And I think a lot of, like you said, they have the lawyers and they'll just wait to get it to court and drag it out in court and wait as long as they can to finally pay that fine. But in the interim, they've made so much money.
Oh yeah, so much more money on it. Like, if you think about it, they'll drag it out to where they think, next administration or this administration is favorable to them. And they'll drag it out and continue.
All we got to do is wait 2 more years and we'll get somebody in there that's friendly to what we want to do.
I mean, listen, tech company stuff is nothing different than when tobacco was happening, right? How long did that take? RJ Reynolds took forever to do that. Was it 20, 30 years easily?
Yeah, at least 30.
Just before you got there? I mean, you're gonna have to go through that, and the discovery and this and that, and tech is more complicated. And you know what I mean? With tobacco is like people smoke, people got cancer.
Yeah.
And that took forever.
There is a correlation, but we won't admit it.
Exactly. So it's the same game. It's just another corporation, and the laws are changed now. So you have lobbyists, you got this, you got that. So it's not,
Yeah, and there was the Meta. Meta had to pay a fine, but by the time they got around to paying the fine, it was like
They made that money.
It was $1 billion, and we go, $1 billion. I don't have $1 billion, but Meta's got.
They made that in like a day.
Meta's got $1 billion right over there in that drawer.
They made that like a half a day.
Yeah, exactly. So, all right, keep an eye on this one. And our final story for today: more Tesla trouble. Tesla, our favorite company is at it again. Here's the key. According to a recent Medium article by Will Lockett, there's a tiny discrepancy. Speaking of billions, just a casual $1.4 billion missing from Tesla's balance sheet. No big deal, right? Oops. In the second half of 2024, Tesla claimed they dropped $6.3 billion on capital expenditures, but only $4.9 billion of that is accounted in actual assets, which begs the question, where the hell did the rest of it go? Did Elon launch it into orbit? Is it chilling on Mars with Doge? Even the Financial Times raised an eyebrow. They suggested that this could be due to weak internal controls, or in plain English, the financial equivalent of, oops, we lost it. Or maybe they're just getting a little too creative with accounting, like Enron levels of creative. Yes, the E word has entered the chat. Let's not forget, Tesla's market cap has tanked from 1.7 trillion to under 800 billion. That's not a dip, that's a full-on nosedive. And while they still have about 37B in cash, they also raised another 6B in debt last year. It's like borrowing money to buy a speedboat when you already have a garage full of them and no gas. Unsurprisingly, investors are not thrilled about all this, with shares plummeting 50% since mid-December. It's like a Black Friday sale, but with people who hate money. And Elon's exit from Doge. Elon is supposedly stepping back from his role at Doge because apparently running an EV company, meddling in politics, running X, and losing billions isn't enough to keep him busy. He says he'll only dedicate 1 or 2 days a week to Doge. So generous. And profits plummet. They're down 71%. But hey, at least they're still the most valuable automaker in the world, even if their stock is tanking and their profits are disappearing faster than a free donut in the office. And let's talk about competition. An insult to injury, those pesky Chinese car makers are nipping at Tesla's heels. BYD is coming for the EV crown, and Tesla's aging lineup and Musk's antics are not helping. But who's the winner? The short sellers. While Tesla investors weep into their soy lattes, short sellers are laughing all the way to the bank, up to 11.5 B just this year. Maybe they found Tesla's missing 1.4 billion. So is this the final nail in the coffin for Tesla? Hard to say. The company has made a habit of dancing through fire and somehow coming out shinier. But with numbers this wonky, investors might want to stop gawking at the Cybertruck and start reading the fine print. Stay tuned because this financial thriller is far from over.
Oh boy.
And the last part, the Model Y has been delayed.
Well, no, it's there. I think there's their cheaper version of Model Y, which is like the one.
That was the under 30K.
Yeah, it's like a motor. Yeah, well, yeah, it's their one motor. It's not like extended battery or performance base. I think they're delaying that one because the new Y is out. It's been out, and it's nice. It's really, really nice. The new version is really nice.
So
there's three. They should like the three and the Y are like the best selling for them. Everything else just doesn't matter.
Okay, so this is a modified. Why am I confused? If the Model Y is it? Okay, so it's the midsize. The Model Y is the midsize.
Yeah.
So what is the one that's delaying the much hyped low cost Model Y again?
Yeah, so there's multiple versions in every single Tesla. There's the regular version, which is the way you're talking about. It's one motor, it's just a regular one. Then there's the extended battery, which is the extended range, basically. And then there's the performance one. Usually that's how they sell them.
Okay, so here's a quote from Autoblog. When Tesla unveiled new battery technology in 2020, Musk claimed the company would produce a $25,000 vehicle by the end of that year. Nearly 5 years later, we're still without a low-cost EV. At some point, Musk's thinking changed on low-cost EV. In late 2024, he said it was now completely at odds with what we believe.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
But even their Cybertrucks, you know what we call, they're not going to produce anymore. It was a silly car. Which is kind of funny because if you look at who designed those, Cybertruck is the only car he'd actually designed. That was his hands in it.
Right. And like I said, it looked like some kid in 4th grade who was bored in class and drawing what futuristic cars would look like.
The most
much stronger.
Unpractical. Right. It's the most unpractical car ever.
I heard something this morning that a common complaint now is this orange sludge dripping from the bottom of the Cybertruck. So it's probably rotting from the inside out. Moisture's
probably. Who the hell knows? The Y and 3 are still best selling. They're great. They've always been cars. Their new redos are pretty nice. He shot himself in the foot. The weird part is even if it drops 70% on the stock market and like value and stuff like that, it's still bringing it down where it should be. The multiples on it were just not a car company. They're a technology company.
It had too much GameStop hype. You know what I mean?
It's not even GameStop hype. I think it's just they were overvaluing it for what it was. And they were doing it. They were doing it as a technology company, battery company, basically.
Right.
Which is fine. That's that thing. But if you're playing in the car sort of market, being 20-30% more than your next competitor in US as a car company, then that makes no sense. Mm-hmm. So they might be just brought down to where they're supposed to be, and that's fine.
They're coming back to earth.
Yeah, I think there's a whole bunch of. I think the biggest investors are like, you need to step out, you need to step down, and let somebody else run this company, and that might happen. The only other thing is, I think if he hits $200, I believe it's 200 or it's under 200, he's gonna get a call option because he used all that money to buy Twitter and stuff. Yes. But I don't know if that has changed now, considering he combined the companies now.
Yeah, he did 80 accounting. Basically bought himself with his own money, and
I don't know. I'm whatever.
And the rumor is he took some Saudi money too, so he might be.
Yeah, that's given. He had to.
I don't know. He's a shady dude, man. I just
hated what it did to all these companies that he owns. What it did to Twitter, what it did to Tesla, what it did to at some point, I think he's gonna get some suits on his things for destroying the brands.
He destroyed the brands. One of the greatest brand destructions of the century. I've never seen anything like it. And it's basically just shooting himself in the foot. He just needs to close his mouth and get back to work. Yep. That's my 2 cents.
I think that's going to happen. I think that's happening now because you haven't seen him in public eye in a while. And I think it's just, he's always going to be attached to Doge. just is, you know. So
Just
here we are. Yeah.
Okay, well,
Here we are.
all right, we'll close it up. That's it for this week. We hope you learned something, but if not, at least you wasted some time. We'll be back next week with more questionable advice and unsolicited opinions. If you'd enjoyed this episode, please rate, review, and subscribe. If you prefer the video experience, you can check out our YouTube channel. And lastly, check out our socials. We're on Bluesky, Twitter, and Facebook. Sign up for our newsletter where you get extended show recaps and behind-the-scenes info on the show. Links are in the show notes. Bart, closing thoughts.
Oh, thoughts. Oh, it's getting really nice outside.
Yeah.
That's my closing thoughts.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. I can finally go outside and work on my garden.
There you go.
All right. We'll see you on the internet next week. Until next time, may your internet be fast, your video calls be clear, and your mute button always work when you need it most. Peace out.
Peace out.
Peace.
Later.
Peace out.
What do you do now?